You're listening to From a Certain Point of Skew, the only Star Wars podcast to lose half their audio, put out the episode anyway, only to rediscover said audio and re-release a bonus episode filling in the gap between recordings. I am Darth Mathias, not broadcasting live from Wookiee Studios because Jay isn't on the line for this. It's just me introducing this Oops episode where we try to get back on track from last week's glitch. If you'd like to find our show, from a certain point of skew.com is the website. You can find us on Twitter at FACPApod. You can email the show, facpapod@gmail.com. Also wanted to remind you that we're doing a giveaway during the season of the Bad Batch. So if you answer our question of the week, send us an email, write a review, send us a story for our Skew Stories. Any of those things get you entries into our giveaway where you can win some cool, literal 1980s era Star Wars figures from Return of the Jedi. On the show today is the recovered audio that we thought we lost last week. It includes our review of Episode 7 of The Bad Batch, Extraction, as well as a couple of Maul Bag emails and us wrapping up the show. It's a shorty, and it's a bit late, all things considered, but I hope you enjoyed anyway. Our new episode where we discuss Episodes 8 and 9 of The Bad Batch and get into that hot Acolyte trailer will be dropping shortly, so look for that in your feed probably in the next 24 hours. And then we'll be back on track with our usual schedule after that. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this abbreviated, late, but hopefully still entertaining episode, and we'll catch you next time. Episode 7 picks up kind of where it left off. The operative gets himself out of the rubble. His suit's all fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
So Rex leads the crew down kind of into the bowels of the Spire and to get to this escape ship they have, and that's when Wolffe and team arrive at the headquarters, and he sees these dead clones. He's like, wait a minute, these aren't insurgents. Clearly Wolffe very much in the Rex camp of like loves the brothers.
Yes. Yeah. And
this is kind of the first sign where we see that Wolfe's going to be very conflicted. He gets briefed by the operative, and he's not happy with the operative. He's not happy with Dark Tech. He's like, what fucking unit are you with? He's like, need to know basis? You don't need to know. So they decide to box him in, close off the one end, hit him from the underbelly. Right. But before they close it off, fucking Dark Tech jumps in the hole and goes right after him. So as they are kind of descending the steps, they realize, or Crosshair realizes, he's like, shit, they're coming up. Like, we're trapped.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when the operative sneaks in behind him, starts firing off shots, and Crosshair's, fending him off. Clearly his hand's bothering him because he is missing some wide open shots here.
Yeah, he's always missing before he hits anything. It's really affecting his self-esteem.
It is. It's like watching a superstar in sports, like in the end of their career. It's like watching Jordan with the Wizards. You're like, it's just not quite there.
Okay.
So they get to the escape ship, and because he manages to kind of fend him off. So they get to the escape ship and fly out. But our operative, being the sharpshooter that he is, just fucking takes him down by blowing out the engines, which is something to think about later. Rex puts out the distress call for Echo to pick him up. Then as they crash because of the engines going down, we get this hilarious exchange with Crosshair and Omega, which is him checking in on her. Like, hey, you okay? You get your crossbow? And he's like, do you need me to carry some of that stuff?
It's almost like he's trying too hard now.
A little too hard. And she's like,
I'm sorry I was the absentee father for so long.
He's trying to make up for lost time.
Yeah. Next weekend we'll go to Disney World, I promise.
You're right, I promise you. She says, you're as bad as Hunter. And he says, oh, no, I'm worse. Now, while this is all happening, Hauser's peeking in on this. And he's like, well, maybe he's not a horrible person. He cares about this kid. So, he's starting to kind of be turned over.
But that I'm worse was like had double meaning.
Yes.
He's like he's a worse helicopter parent, but he's also a fucking murderer.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
100 times over.
Mm-hmm.
Killed a lot of people, innocent people.
Just yesterday.
Yeah, recently, very recently. So, because Hauser later tells Crosshair, I saw how you were talking to the kid, like something changed. You're not the same as you were on Ryloth. And that's when he tells him,
yes.
When I realized the Empire, I was disposable to the Empire, I was kind of like, fuck them. I bounced.
Mm-hmm.
So with this operative in pursuit, the crew gets cut off by part of Wolffe's team, and they drop some smoke grenades and fight their way through. This is, again, when Crosshair shoots the pilot. Great shot. So he's getting a little of his mojo back. Then he shoots out the engine. It's the same fucking thing. He shoots out the engines with that nice shot. So that's another one that just makes me think, okay, maybe these guys do have Crosshair DNA in them of some sort.
They think the same.
Yeah, they think the same, right?
Yeah.
The operative kind of pins them down again, and Crosshair's like, you guys go, I'll draw his fire. I like how Omega's like, I don't like that idea.
Tough shit.
Yeah, too late. So now when this whole sequence started and the music kind of changed, were you like, he's going to die here, isn't he? Was there a second where you thought he might die?
There was a moment where I thought, especially when he gets put underwater and you almost see him die, or you think you do, but then I'm like, they're not going to kill him right here. This doesn't make any sense.
The only reason I thought it was possible was because we're at the halfway point of the last season. So at this point, anybody's free game to die because they're not gonna have everybody die at the very end. I think they're gonna have somebody or multiple people die along the way. I would think
along the way. Yeah.
So I just keep losing my spot on these fucking.
But now we're in the fight, the waterfall fight. We're going Black Panther. They're both fighting for the crown.
It is Black Panther.
Yeah.
And he gets that vibro blade out, and then he tells Crosshair, "You had your chance to be one of us. You chose the wrong side."
Yeah.
Okay.
And he fights like Hunter.
He does. Yeah, that's a good point. And certainly Crosshair's struggling. I mean, he's getting his ass kicked.
Right. Well, yeah, because he's a loner. He's a sniper. He doesn't one-on-one fighting. So this is where he's going to get his ass handed to him.
But we saw him even on the escape from Tantus working dudes over. I think he's got the hand-to-hand skills. It's just that this dude is prepped. This guy's ready.
Well, that's the thing is he's up against like a trooper. He's going to whoop their ass, but up against someone of equal, or it didn't look like he stood a chance against this guy.
Yep. He holds Crosshair underwater, like you said, seemingly drowning him. But then he gets stunned and drops over the falls. A very long drop, which we'll get to in a second. Is that Hauser that does it and saves him? There's like the full, we're okay, right, kind of moment. Yep. I think it was Hauser who did it. Yeah.
It was Hauser.
And then we get to the extraction point. They're met by Wolffe and his team. We get a little standoff, and Wolffe gets that kind of, oh, shit moment when he's like, Rex, I thought you were fucking dead, man. I thought you went down with that ship at the end of season 7.
Yeah, they're talking about the Siege of Mandalore, right? Yeah, season 7.
Yeah, right. I thought you were dead. Poor naive Wolffe doesn't understand why they are fighting the Empire. He is, I'm being a good soldier, and they kind of enlighten him on the fact that they're like, they're experimenting on us at Tantus. Do you realize this? He's
getting the Bad Batch to Crosshair talk.
Yeah, yes, for sure. And I think the moment of clarity, I guess if you want to call it that for him at least, that kind of stops him in his tracks, is when Rex goes, just stop for a second and think about this. You're hunting a child.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah. When
this don't look good on my resume.
No. In comes Echo and Gregor. We get Gregor. He's on there. And Wolffe allows them to leave. And as they make their way into hyperspace, Rex tells Hunter, like, essentially, like, you're in this fight whether you like it or not. Hunter's still very much we're just trying to survive with our little crew and protect Omega. And I think Rex is kind of like, you can't just do that. Like, there's a bigger cause here, and you need to figure out why the fuck they want her so bad.
Right. You know? Yeah. Yeah. And this, I mean, we're seeing everything coming together now.
Yeah. Everything from the first, I mean, not just the clones, but everything from the first 3 seasons, all these pieces are coming together. And then, yes, we finally see the operative kind of somehow survived the waterfall drop. And that's where some people, I think, are thinking, well, this person is particularly good at surviving big, deadly drops. Maybe. Dark tech.
They should have just had him like as he's laying on the shore, and he's like catching his breath. It should have ended with him going, oh, not again. if it's tech, I don't think it's tech. But
searching for his goggles.
In the night vision, it did look like he had. Did you notice he has a limp? He walks a little funny.
Well, I saw somebody show the heat whatever sensor thing. And they were trying to make the point that it looked like his legs weren't. So like his legs were fake. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Well, watching it, it looked like there was the heat signature in the body, but it looked like from the knees down. It could also be like the angle or whatever. And but if other people are seeing that, but I was kind of trying to pay attention to this guy to see if there's anything, because nothing other than his mind is wiped, right? So he wouldn't be tech, I guess.
Yeah, it's just a body. But what I saw was I watched it looking for that this time with the heat signature thing. With the second time I watched it.
Okay.
And it didn't look like it. It looked like it was just a regular body. It didn't look like it was. I think it was just that still shot that I saw on Twitter made it look like that. But when you watch the whole thing in motion, it doesn't look like that. I mean, again, it could be. So yeah, let's speculate on this. Who is this person? Why are they making such a big deal out of him? it's clearly got to be something or someone, because that line about why did you activate me, and just the way it kind of was able to battle Crosshair, kind of knew what they were doing, it seemed. The three main theories I've heard people speculate about is, one, it's Cody. I don't think it's Cody. There's no way. He bailed on the Empire in season 2.
Well, he could have been captured.
I guess. I don't think it's Cody.
Okay.
I think Cody's going to join them in the end to fucking go to take the battle to Tantus. 2 is it's Tech reprogrammed, which is a valid theory. I think Tech's dead. As much as I don't want it to be.
Right.
And then the third one is what we talked about earlier. Are these just clones of Crosshair? Did they, when he didn't join, they basically took his blood and his DNA.
Well, I think it's like the splicing thing. Like if it's like, what are those dark troopers called, right? Like they have to activate those. Or even in The Mandalorian with Moff Gideon, like he had his clones that were sleeping in those things, those cryogenic chambers, like, so that activated thing. So I think they, and we know, what do we call him? Hargrove? What's our name for him?
Hemlock, but Hargrove is what we call him.
Hargrove, okay. So let's call him the right one. Hargrove, we know he's doing like all these experiments. So it makes more sense that this is like one of those experiments that's working.
Yeah, I'm really stumped. I don't know what it's supposed to be. It's clearly not just a one-off, and it's just these troopers that they made out of nothing, and there's going to be no significance. I've seen people also joke and go, is this just a Merrick situation? We're speculating that it's Ezra or whoever, and then it ends up being a cloud of fucking green dust. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's somebody we know somehow.
Well, I think it might turn out to be, but the one before, we've seen his face. He was shot in the chest,
and he looked just like the other one. I know they're clones.
Yeah, they're troopers. They're clones, right? So I think these ones have just been operated on.
Yeah. Okay.
Now the face might be a reveal, and if it's Tech, but why? What's the point of doing that? What's the point of rebuilding him into fucking RoboCop?
I don't know, because it's just a body. Is it like? It's almost like you're just wanting to like get the goat of the fucking Bad Batch if you do that,
which isn't Hargrove's plan anyways.
No, he's a crumpled mess of a body. Why would you take that body? It's not like Tech's body was like his fucking enhanced ability. It was his mind and his technical ability. But if he's a totally reprogrammed clone, why?
And that could be one of the things, though. So they've got Tech's mind, they've got Crosshair's sniper ability. And he's fighting like he's fighting like Hunter. But then they've got Nala Se there, who did all of this originally.
Right.
So she's involved in this, procedure, or at least the technical know-how that he's having done. So I think all of this is kind of tying in. Like, it's just, it's one giant super clone stew.
One clone to rule them all.
Yeah.
Well, and so in the next episode, by the way, it's called Bad Territory, which doesn't exactly tip off much. I was trying to think what would be next. Do you have any theories? We haven't had the bounty hunters yet. They got to be coming soon.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know where to speculate that this is going to go next, other than like grand scheme of things. I think we're all going to end up with the clones saving the clones on Tannis, and then Omega going off and learning how to become a Jedi.
Yeah, that's true. Like I said earlier, with the Wolffe thing, I would have expected he was going to die, but we know he's going to make it, because Hemlock is not going to like it when he finds out that he just let them go. How is that going to go?
Now, he did say something about. Did he say something about Hemlock at the end there? Does he work, or was he just dispatched out? Right. I don't think, because so far we haven't seen anybody that is directly tied to Tannis, because it's so secretive. I don't think they have people leaving there. Like he's not sending out his army to go off planet to go searching for. Well, I guess that's not true, because we saw the crash site where he's standing on top of the ship.
Right.
So he was off. But
he was off.
I don't know.
And you've got Scorch who's directing a lot of this traffic, but he's doing it from Tantus and sending those operatives out. But you're right. I don't think anybody on Wolffe's team was directly involved with Hemlock.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Or sorry, Hargrove.
Yeah.
Where are they going to set up the new clone headquarters? Babu?
Where
are you going to go?
Oh, that might be why they end up there. Yeah. Because now they've lost that secret hidden base. I love how they're always setting up shop at the old places that are just run down. Oh, no one's here. We'll take this one over.
That is a storyline that goes all the way back to the original trilogy. It's
right.
That's always the way. Yeah, I mean, unless I couldn't think of anywhere else they would go. I think they kind of have to go to Pabu.
At least for a makeshift, right?
Yeah, watch them end up on Tatooine. Everybody's like slapping their forehead. No, not Tatooine again.
It all comes back here.
What, by the way, I don't know why I thought of this, but as I was watching these 2 episodes, this thought crossed my mind. I thought, I think before it's all over, I kind of want Hunter and Crosshair to have like a Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid moment. Pinned down and just go out guns blazing. Fucking
just
dead.
like Mando and Boba Fett?
Yeah, Mando and Boba Fett. What happened with Mando and Boba Fett?
When they're inside a Garsa Fwip's blown up place.
Oh, yes, The Last Stand.
Yeah, right. And they come running out, and it's the spinning camera shot, and yeah.
But I think they were like, we're gonna win this shit. Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid were like, we're dead, but let's at least go out.
Oh, okay, so that's what I'm thinking, like just the shot, the way it looks. But you're thinking they're gonna run off in, and the fucking camera's gonna shut off. We don't know whether they die or not.
Boom, 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 boom. You just hear the gunshots.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, they borrow so much from other films and stuff. I figured, that's a good way to do it. Well, we will see. Like I said before, we'll be doing 2 episodes in 2 weeks since I'm off next week.
Right.
And so, which is nice because we get to do 2. And I think after that, it's another 2. So we're getting to do double episodes.
So it's 2. So we're not doing 3 episodes when you come back. We'll do 2 because you're gone a week, and then the week after it'll be 2.
Correct. My understanding, I think, if I have this right, is episode 8 is next, then episode 9 is next, and then 10 and 11 are together.
Okay.
So we'll do 8 and 9 together, and then we'll do 10 and 11 together.
Perfect.
Anything else on Bad Batch for now? You want to do the Maul Bag real quick?
Yeah, let's do the Maul Bag.
Maul Bag emails, both for Max Rebo Experience. Thank you, Max. I hope you had a satisfactory start to daylight savings. Of course. Here's my Bad Batch theory. I like the idea of the clone uprising, but this is the height of the Empire's power. I imagine the last episode will be like the ending of the movie Glory. It will feature a magnificent battle scene and end with all the clones, not seen in Rebels, being thrown into a massive grave. Very sad but poignant. Well, I mean, that is what happens at the end of Glory. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen that movie, it's 40 years old. In order to end this on a happier note, what era do you think the next animated series will be based in? I'm guessing High Republic to go along with the Acolyte. What do you think is going to be the next animated series?
Well, hold on. 2 things. I think with the last fight, I mean, how do you not go as... I don't think they can go as big and as, like, theatrical looking, as cinematic as Siege of Mandalore, right? I don't know. But...
Right.
I think like it's going to be like if all the clones are involved and it's all fighting on chance, but we also it can go that big because the Emperor didn't just say you have unlimited resources at the Empire for nothing. And that's why I think we're still going to see the possibility of Vader, or like there's going to be a big fucking battle, especially when he finds out like his prized little mountain, and that no one knows about is fucking being attacked. Emperor's gonna be like, oh no, all of my secret plans, plans 1 through 68 are, sitting in there.
I saw somebody speculate about this and said, well, what if they do like kind of fuck up Tantus? And that's why this program that started so long ago takes so long to get to the finish line, is because they wipe out all their shit. But that being said, I don't know how much you want to feel like some of that aftermath shit or whatever is tied into, or I guess it's not aftermath, it's the Thrawn series, it's that first Thrawn series. How much that's canon, because Tantus is in play later as well. So I don't know. It could be the remnants of what was there before.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're changing. I mean, structurally and timeline wise, it's already been changed, but
I feel like you've got to have the clones go out with a big moment, a big heroic push, but then all die. They virtually all die.
Right. And that's the big battle, right?
Yeah.
So they're dying for their freedom. And whoever survives, and we know at least those 3 do. Wouldn't that be sad if like it was just those 3? Like just like one of the final shots is just them standing in a fucking field of just corpses.
Find like Wrecker's severed head or something. Yeah. Like, oh. Batcher comes trotting along with somebody's body.
Yeah, I think animated wise, I think they're going to continue from this. I mean, they've been successful so far, and their one leap away was that shit show of a fucking Resistance that no one cares about. So I think they're going to stay where the tried and true is right now, especially if like this storyline is really going as far as we know it was about Omega and there was something secret. We found out like she has high M count, which means what we're saying it means, right? So I think that's where it's going to end, is she finds out what is she going to do with that. The next series will pick up with that.
Yeah, I thought about it, the fact that I was like, well, would they go to some other animated series format first and then come back to the Omega, maybe Asajj, whatever, later? So there's like a gap between
Well, they
the
could,
two?
because that's what Resistance did, right? Resistance was kind of in the middle of, it was after Clone Wars. Or was it after Rebels? It was after Rebels.
Resistance was the most recent one before Bad Batch.
Yeah.
It was after Rebels. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I thought that is possible. I mean, his High Republic guess, I don't think is a bad guess. The only thing is they just did that Young Jedi Adventures. That was High Republic era. I'm not sure they're ready to totally dive into that yet. I don't know if they know how much people are bought into it. I mean, a lot of people have been all over those books, but I just haven't had a chance to really get into it. But I think he's thinking with the Acolyte coming out, it would tie into that.
Right.
Nicely.
I mean, it makes sense for them to do something more than just the books and the kid series, but it seems to be a slow crawl of them introducing like the High Republic to an audience.
Yeah.
So.
There is a good 3 years between A New Hope and Empire. Just saying, there's a lot of stuff you could put in there, but I think they don't want to necessarily touch that original trilogy.
Right.
From 4 to 6, they kind of don't want to touch that. They'll touch either side, but not like
either side of it
in the middle.
Right. Yep.
I also thought about like, how about some Qui-Gon Obi-Wan action pre Phantom Menace? Those two fucking running around. That would be awesome. Maybe they said to Ewan, hey, I know you're waiting for Kenobi season 2. We got an animated project for you.
Just come in and do the voice work. If you do a good job, maybe we'll do.
Maybe we'll do season 2.
Yeah.
He was on some show with his wife the other day and was saying how like he's just waiting for the call.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how do you not
take advantage of him? Especially,
exactly.
I mean, I'm not saying he's like ancient, but he's, what is he, 51 now, 52, something like that?
He could do another one for sure. Yeah.
So
it's not like they couldn't. They got a good foundation from Kenobi. Like build from that and do something else. And there's still quite a few years before he's got to be old man Ben, fucking shouting mating calls to the whatchamacallits to save Luke. So
mating calls. Is that what they were? Were they mating calls?
I don't know.
Crate dragon
really got
mating
their
calls?
attention though.
It did get their attention. All right, email number 2 from Max Rebo. More clone questions. Did Palpatine call each clone commander individually, or was it a group call? Or did he have 1,000 individual calls pre-recorded for future release? Or did he use AI to make the calls? This is all in reference to Order 66 and Palpatine's call out to all his troopers. I like how he also says the Clone Wars animation looks so old. Well, if you look back on like some of that stuff, you could just tell it's CGI. That's, I think, the difference. Is it looks heavy CGI. I mean, even the troopers aren't real. They're all CGI. That doesn't help.
Oh, right.
But yes, because he specifically says Commander Cody, execute Order 66. But then the other guys that his screen pops, his little holo pops up on, he just says Order 66. So I don't know if it's one of those where he told Cody first, and then like it got just that bit got beamed out to everybody else, and it's one message. I don't know. There's no way he had time to tell everybody.
No. Maybe it was like the Force, like they heard their name as he gives out the message.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a blast email. It just swaps in the different names. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. You get those junk emails. Hey, Jason.
Yes,
you're like,
it's
the fuck is this? You don't know who I am.
It's a blast hollow.
I mean, he's thought of everything. Why not this? So far I give it to the Emperor.
Could you imagine him going to like his tech guys and being like, I want to send a holo out, but I want it personalized.
Right. Can you please use all of their names? Yeah.
I've got all the names in a spreadsheet. I'll give you that.
It's like their pucks. Their pucks are like signature, like they're made for each person, right?
Right.
So everything just comes in and it's initially gives them their name. Because the fucking Emperor doesn't know any of their names.
Hell no.
He doesn't give a shit about them. Even the commanders, he doesn't care.
Right. I agree. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Max. That's it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you not next week and 2 weeks from now. So thank you so much for listening. Until next time.
Laugh that up, buzzballs.
We have spoken.